Welcome, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving up your time to be here tonight. I have a very special guest called Kelly Carter, and I'll introduce her very shortly. First of all, this is a continuing series of online conversations that I host regularly with different speakers, but all relating to wellness. So a brief introduction about myself, my career. I started off as a dental surgeon, practiced clinically for 15 years, and I became the first woman CEO of the largest dental association in Australia. And then I moved on to become a CEO of a medical ultrasound body for 10 years, and then to the business sector for the Small and Medium Enterprise Association. And I spent 10 years in a consulting role, mostly as an advisory board member, advisor, consultant, and also company boards for government bodies, for not-for-profits, and for private companies. For about 10 years, I was leading a very busy, crazy life. And fast forward to 2023, my husband and I had a chance to slow down and reprioritize because we got married in 2020, and then the lockdown happened, and that gave us a chance to just stop and decide for ourselves what we're going to focus on with our lives together as a married couple. So we focus on proactive wellness. That's when I started learning and embarking on a journey of being proactive about every aspect of our life, which I will talk further later this evening. But I'd like to bring on Kelly Carter, whom I met through the Hastings Business Women's Network, an amazing woman. And so no matter what stage in life you are at and whatever financial situation, watching this, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this interesting interactive session with me asking questions of Kelly, and Kelly giving us insights into finances, and also from her experience as a broker. So Kelly, maybe instead of me, I already researched you and know a lot about yourself. So maybe you start by telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Carolyn. So my name is Kelly Carter. I am a mortgage broker and a franchise owner of Mortgage Choice. I have three daughters who are 20, 18, and 16-year-old. They are my inspiration for helping clients and fulfilling their education and knowledge and awareness of money and home loans and all things finances. Through my own little journey, I've gone from being aware of money and savings to being in a relationship that was not healthy, where we lived day by day, and we were constantly trying to make ends meet while I was a stay-at-home mum with three daughters. I then left that relationship because I finally took the courage to stand up for what I believed in, and left that with my young girls, who were only 4, 2, and 7 months old at that stage. And I became a single mum. I had no job. I had paused my career to have family. And I had to realize to budget quite tightly. And I also, at that moment, decided that I would never rely on another person's income to determine my financial wealth and my happiness. So from that moment, I changed my whole entire life, my body, my finances, my mindset, and ended up going back into banking as my career. Most of my career has been in lending, and I absolutely love it. But there was a time where I was working for a big bank, and I found the experience getting to be very, very transactional. And I wanted more out of my relationship with clients. I wanted to educate them. I wanted to support them. And I felt very controlled by the processes within a big bank. I also had a personal goal of moving and relocating my family from Bathurst to Port Macquarie, which is a 7-hour distance, and in the middle of COVID. And my employer at that stage wasn't supportive of that move and couldn't offer me a position within the bank at that point of time. So I, again, just decided that I was at a crossroads and I could either choose the direction that I want to go in, or I could just stay put, and I decided to make a change and become a broker.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's an interesting journey that you've navigated, and look at you now.
yeah.
What are the most common misconceptions that people have when it comes to getting a mortgage?
I think the biggest misconception is that you need to go straight to your bank in order to get the best interest rate or to get your home loan. Brokers now make up over 74% of all mortgages that are settled, which is amazing. And we're showing that clients have choice. They don't just need to go to their one lender, they can go to multiple lenders, but through the one source of a broker. The main difference between a bank and a broker is brokers are regulated under best interest duty, which means that we need to show that we have the client's best interest in mind before recommending a product. So if you were to walk into a bank, they're not going to tell you that down the road the other bank is going to offer you a better product that's more suited to you. Whereas a broker needs to have a quality conversation and be able to provide you those options, and we're giving the client choice. So I do find it is a very big misconception that you will get the best deal if you go straight to your bank, and it's definitely not true.
Because I certainly, in my younger days, I didn't know that. In fact, all my loans, I went straight to the bank, and I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, and it's never too late to learn. And the whole idea of this session also is to give out information for the younger generation. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, it's never too late to learn how to navigate this loan process.
Yeah, definitely.
Financial wellness, which is what the topic is today. How does financial wellness tie into home ownership and real estate investment?
Yeah. So purchasing property and owning property helps us to build our wealth quicker. We will build more wealth than what we could ever save. And our investment is working for us. So that property is going to, assuming, grow in value over a period of time, which means that we're not working for that money. We're not exchanging our time for money. That property is just growing based on what's happening in the area. As an example, on average, a property will grow by 7% each year, which effectively means that in 10 years' time, a property could double in value. So by purchasing property, we're able to increase our wealth. And when we get to a retirement age, we can then use that wealth to create the lifestyle that we want. So our financial wellness can improve if we can invest in property or invest in other investments. But you're actively working to increase your wealth, and property is one of the options.
It's fantastic. I think a lot of people don't know where to start, and don't even know that starting with property is a good way. And I certainly, at a personal level, that's how I started to overcome some aspects of the poverty cycle in my family. First of all, education, and then when I did have a little bit of spare cash, I started investing in property. But I could have done better if I had a mortgage broker and have met you at that time.
If I had have known what I know now when I was in my 20s, I as well would have done many things differently.
Yeah, hence this session is so important. So what with regarding to mortgage basics, for someone who's new to the whole process, what key factors should they consider when selecting a mortgage? And that's something I went straight to the bank.
Yeah, so if you are new to the process, definitely be guided by a professional mortgage broker, but not just any mortgage broker, because again, we're all different. So you want to find somebody that you can relate to, somebody that understands you, somebody that is willing to educate you and support you. Knowing your future goals can also help that conversation flow with your broker. So having the experience, so for example, in my experience, I've been a single mother, I've gone through a divorce, I've walked away from a relationship with nothing and needed to start all over again. I'm later 40s now and working towards my investment portfolio and building my wealth so that I can retire. I also have younger adults who are trying to work out how do they get in the property market and how do they save and budget and work and travel and do all of these cool things that a young person wants to do too. So I've got lots of experience across many different areas, but definitely to find somebody that you trust and that you want a long-term relationship with, because once you know each other, it's so much easier to work together to create results. And you have built that relationship over time. So I love it when my clients call me up and say, "Hi, Kelly, this is my plan now. What do you think? How can we do it?" And we work together, which is amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic. I do have two young adult children, and my husband also, we come from, previous marriages, and my husband has five. So, there may be a need for your services in the future. We don't know, but, even the adults who are watching this, they may have children, and they might be watching this to learn for themselves as well as for the future generation. So what you've shared with us is really invaluable. So for first home buyers, maybe touch on what are the important tips for first home buyers when it comes to securing a mortgage.
Yeah, so I guess for first home buyers, you really want to understand that your first home is not going to be your forever home. We in Australia will typically move 7 to 10 times in our lifetime. So when you are purchasing your first property, we don't have to look for the big and the grand. We just want to be able to get our foot in the door and start building equity straight away. So you can start with something that's affordable, something that's small, something that has comfortable repayments that gives you the option to continue to save and invest in other areas, because you don't just have a house goal, you have lifestyle goals as well. And they could be travel or education or renovations or doing things for your children. So there's lots of other things that are going to come in our lives that require finances. And if we put all of our finances in just our home loan repayment, it stops us from being able to live the life that we want. Yeah. So my biggest tip is be realistic with what you can afford and understand all of your goals so that you can make better decisions, and just start off small. Build the equity and just take step by step by step. And we don't want our home loan to cause us financial stress. We want it to create wealth and give us security, but not cause us grief and sleepless nights.
That's fantastic, but I don't think when I talked to the bank with my first loan, those things were addressed at all or asked. Yeah. And you have obviously a very holistic approach, and that's why you call yourself a life broker, which I really like. So leading to the next question, what can first home buyers do to improve their chances of getting approved for a mortgage with favorable terms? So also maybe touch on the difference between fixed rate and variable rates mortgage.
Yeah. So I'll go through how to improve your chances of getting a home loan, and then clarify what a fixed and a variable interest rate is. When we're applying for finances, we're going to provide a lender all of our personal information, and they're going to go through that information. So showing the lender that you can make the repayment is one really good option. So for example, if you're renting and saving and both of those repayments add up to what your proposed home loan repayment will be, we can easily justify that you can afford that repayment without causing financial stress. Being aware of your conduct on your bank accounts. So anytime you go below zero, it looks bad. Every time you make a late repayment on a liability, even if it's just by one day, it looks bad. So we want to look good in the bank's eye. We want to look less risky. We want to look that we have our banking and our life together, because the bank is going to lend you some money and they are going to charge you interest, but the riskier you are, the higher interest rate you could potentially get.
Mm.
In regards to fixed and variable rates, a variable rate gives you flexibility with your repayment. So you can make extra repayments, which helps you to build equity and pay off your loan faster. The downside of that is that interest rates are also flexible, so they can go up or down. If you fix your loan, the interest rate is locked in for a period of time between 1 and 5 years. So great when you want to just budget and when you want to know what your repayments are. But the downside of that is if interest rates drop, so hopefully next year interest rates will drop. If interest rates drop and you're locked in high, you stay high. So you might not take advantage of decreasing interest rates. And if you pay out that loan early, you could incur some penalties as well. So again, just having that quality conversation with a broker so that we can understand your financial position now and your future goals, then we can help guide you in the direction of fixed or variable.
Mm.
And you can also split your loan. So you can have a bit of both. So you could have a fixed loan and a variable loan so that you have the flexibility, but also the stability as well.
Right. So your advice on someone looking to buy a home in a fluctuating market, what would be the best thing that you would advise them on?
Yeah, so the market is moving and it can be quite difficult to get into the property, but there is a cost of delay. So interest rates are questionable. Do they drop now? Do they drop next year? Property values, are they increasing? Are they stabilizing? Are they decreasing? I guess we don't know, and we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if you wait for the perfect moment to buy the perfect house at the perfect interest rate, at the perfect price, you could be wasting your time and also reducing the equity that you could potentially build and the wealth that you could build by wait. So we would call that cost of delay. To successfully go through this stage, again, it's just understanding your big goals. What is it that you want to achieve? Understand your budget so that you know how much you can afford. Research the market so that you know what the area looks like. If you're investing, you could invest anywhere in Australia. You don't have to invest in the town that you live in. So it's doing all of your research and getting all the numbers and making an educated decision, and also chatting with your broker about your borrowing capacity. And then just do it.
Fantastic. What about credit and debt management? So how important is the credit score when applying for a mortgage? Some people don't even know that there is a credit score.
Yeah. So once you turn 18, you have a credit score. Your score improves as you continue to make good repayments, as you keep your account conducts in order. Your score will decrease though if you make late repayments, and if you overdraw your accounts, if you're moving around too many times in your job and in your residence, and also if you're applying for credit too many times. So a credit score is a number, but your credit report will show every inquiry that you've made over the last 5 years, and it will show us if there's been any defaults or hardship. It will also show us the conduct on some of those loans. So the lower the score, the riskier you are. The higher the score, the better you are. If your score is too low, so for example, it could be under 500 or under, some lenders like 600 and above. Again, it depends on your situation and what lender we're looking at. But the lower your score and the poor conduct that you may have could decline your application, which means that we're having the next conversation of we need you to show good conduct over a 6-month period, and then you just have to wait. A lot of clients don't understand that if you pay 1 day late, it affects your credit score. So if you do 1 day late on a credit card or on a loan, a car loan, and you do that for 3 months, that could potentially delay your purchase for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so being mindful that you have a due date, you need to make that repayment on time, and also just checking your credit credit report and being aware of what your number is and what it looks like, so that you can then make better decisions on how you manage your money.
I think that's very important, Kelly. I think, how banks and credit unions or any lending organizations, they're willing to lend you money, but there's not a lot of information on what happens when you default by a day and what
Yeah.
happens to your future lending options. So
Yeah.
if someone already has an existing debt, so what you just shared is very useful. So in a nutshell, what should a young person say in the 20s and 30s, and they still haven't really, decided what they're going to do in life, but they have an existing debt and they're trying to prepare to apply for a mortgage, maybe for a first home or for a car or whatever. How would you advise them to handle their existing debt before they apply? Because they need to manage that holistically as well.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, again, making those repayments on time is highly, highly important. If you want to borrow extra money, so say you want to buy a car or you want to do home renovations, we also want to see that you are able to make those extra repayments as well. So for example, if you have a $500,000 mortgage and you want to increase it by $100,000, but you have no savings in your account, you're not making any extra repayments on your home loan, where are you going to come up with the money within your budget to be able to cover that higher repayment? Also, understanding, again, your big goals. So if you are, say, my age and where I'm later 40s, I don't want to be working until I'm 70. I would like my home loan repaid and closed before I'm 60. So as I get older, I have less time to pay out my debt. So if my goal is to retire with no debt, then I want to be able to make those repayments high enough that it will remove and close my liability before I retire. Same as if you want to invest in property and you want to use the equity that you've built in that home, we want to be able to build equity quickly so that we can buy the next property, which means that you want to budget to make extra repayments and you want to manage that so that it gives you all of the available equity to reuse again.
So homeowners can actually leverage home equity. So what risks are involved in that?
Yeah, so equity first, a lot of people may not understand what equity is, but equity is a difference between your home loan balance and the value of your property. So that's the amount of the property that you physically own. So if you were to sell that property, that equity and that part of that property that you own is liquidated into cash. But if we don't want to sell that property, we could use the equity that you've built and re-borrow against it to be able to purchase other goals or create an investment portfolio. The risks involved are that we are reusing your equity. So if we're reusing it, you own less of that property now. But we can leverage against it to help us make money. So sometimes money makes money, and borrowing money is a smart decision to help us create the next wealth scenario, because we may never be able to save for another deposit, but we have equity in our current home that we could leverage against to help us buy something without putting physical cash down.
Yeah. Well, so far, what you shared with me, Kelly, I think every young person, whether they're ready or not, should actually have a conversation with a mortgage broker, at least learn what is important and have some early life lessons before they make big mistakes. So
yes, 100%.
Financial planner. A financial planner is different from a mortgage broker. So what role does long-term financial planning play in successfully managing a mortgage over time?
Yeah, so I guess understanding that, a financial planner is very different to a mortgage broker, but you can have long-term financial planning decisions made by understanding your short and long-term goals. So if we understand our short and long-term goals, then it helps us to make better decisions now. So for example, if you would like to retire on $100,000, roughly we're going to need $2 million worth of assets, excluding your owner-occupied home, in order to produce the income to be able to give us the $100,000 without exchanging our time for that income. So if we're sitting at 30, we still have another 30 years before we get to 60. What can we do now in order to create our investment portfolio or our wealth strategy or our investments to get to that $2 million? And obviously in 30 years' time, it's going to need to be a lot more than $2 million. But if we don't plan and we don't have a financial plan in place, the years go by and the years go by and then we run out of time. And then financial planners will tell you that people get to the age of 50 and they start freaking out because they realize that they're now running out of time and they should have made decisions 10 or 20 or 30 years ago in order to create the wealth to give them the lifestyle that they want to retire on.
So your advice would be to find a trusted financial planner as well as a mortgage broker and work hand in hand together.
Yeah. A financial advisor does need to go through a whole risk strategy, and it's good when you've got lots of money or investment ideas. So sometimes a financial planner isn't suitable for you right now, but you can get enough information about creating wealth and leveraging equity and doing all of the right things to get you to a point where now you're having a really good conversation with a financial advisor to fix up the last bit and make sure that it's invested correctly. And like I said, property is only one option that we have to invest our money. We've got lots of different options, and that's where other professionals will come in and be able to share their advice.
That's fantastic, Kelly. So the challenges and the opportunities, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see people face in the housing market, particularly?
Yeah.
How can you overcome them?
Yeah, I find the biggest challenge is mindset. We hear so much in the media that home ownership is out of reach, properties are too expensive, it's unachievable for young people. And because they're getting this information, they're parking that goal and it's now in the too hard basket. And so they go and travel and they go and do all these other cool things, but again, they're using their time not in the right way. So I guess the important thing is to not look at the negativity, to understand that home ownership is achievable and there's ways to overcome the objections and the obstacles. So if you make it a priority to save money, that works for you. If you make it a priority to have a conversation with a mortgage broker, you can get a clear understanding of what you can do and what you can't do. If you make it a priority to keep improving your income through extra work or knowledge to increase your gross income, you might decide that you're going to go into being self-employed and run a business because there's more options for you to create income. There's lots of different ways that you can get into a property, and there's even rent vesting, which means that if you can't afford to buy where you live because you might live in the city and it's just completely out of your reach, you can stay renting, but you can go and buy a property in a regional area that's more affordable. So again, there's lots of different options, but you only know what you know. And this is where having that connection with somebody who can guide you and have better conversations can give you other ideas. And if you speak to your favorite uncle at a barbecue, they're going to give you their opinion, but that's not an educated opinion. It's more of a personal opinion on what you can do, and try not to listen to all of the media hype.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, because you are right. It's all about the mindset. If you don't start, then when are you going to start? Yeah. So are there any government programs or incentives that people often overlook but could help them with their home ownership?
Yeah, there is. So the government's put in a few good schemes, especially for first home buyers. So depending on the purchase price and the state that you're buying in, you may be able to get stamp duty for free or a reduced price. There's also schemes where the government could become effectively your guarantor, which waives the lender's mortgage insurance. There are obviously conditions and eligibility. So I've popped in the chat box a link to Housing Australia to get more information on the First Home Guarantee Scheme. There are also other ways to get into property. So single parents can apply for a scheme where you only need a 2% deposit. Again, just helping you to get into a property. You could look at a guarantor loan, which means that a parent potentially is offering a property or cash as security to help you buy something without a deposit, because it is very hard to save for a deposit. And we struggle, especially if you're renting and living a life and trying to save at the same time. You can also get a gift, or otherwise known as a living inheritance. So your parents may be able to give you part of their inheritance while they're still alive to help you get into the property market. Or maybe you could consider buying with your sibling or a close friend to improve your borrowing capacity, and you can pool all of your assets together to get your foot in the door in the property market. So there's lots of different options that could potentially be available.
That's really interesting, Kelly. I think a lot of people don't know about all these options that are available. That would take up a whole episode, a whole session, and
Yes.
with case studies as well to like show examples of how it is possible, because it is a common statement, oh, I can't afford it, and it's the baby boomers who's caused all this problem of rising costs. Yeah, so one last question, Kelly. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone who feels so overwhelmed by the mortgage process? I know there are a few members in my family and extended family who are already feeling that way.
Yeah. Again, you only know what you know. So having a quality conversation with a mortgage broker who cares and who's happy to take the time to educate and guide you. My motto is broker for life, which means that I work with you through the planning stage, during the buying stage, help you manage your home loan after it settles, and then a repeat cycle as their needs change, then I'm there ready to help them, guide them through the next step. But there's no silly question, and education is the key. The more that you know about the process, the more that you understand about mindful money habits, or the more that you understand about budgeting and saving and investing, that is the way that you're going to create wealth and financial success in the future. You know, if you don't know, there's lots of podcasts that you can listen to. There's professionals that you can reach out to and ask a question. And I never knock anyone back if they have a question. I would, I would rather spend my time answering a question, knowing that I've could potentially change somebody's life by one conversation that I have.
So that's the end of the question and answer session, the conversation with you. And please stay on, because how are people going to contact you? And are your sessions, the initial conversation, free, or is there a fee? And how are the fees charged generally when using?
Yeah. So as a mortgage broker, I'm paid by a lender if a loan was to settle. So conversations and the whole process of organising your mortgage is not paid by the customer at all. So we're paid by the lender when a loan settles, and then we get what's called trail. So the length of time that the client has a loan with that lender, we get some income based on their balance. And in return for that income, we're helping that client manage their home loan by checking in with them every 6 months. So there's no fees. And a lot of clients do also ask that question, how much does it cost to have a chat? And if that's what's holding you back from making that phone call, know that the phone call is free. I've popped my Linktree link in the chat box that will get you to all of my socials, and it will get you to a space where you can book in a discovery call as well.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you, Kelly. Please stay on. So all of you, well, that's a lot of information, and there will be a recording that will be shared, and I'm sure many people will be sharing that with their friends and their family, and also even their staff members who are struggling to keep them happy so that they can have some sort of stability in home ownership. Now I'd like to move on to my part of proactive wellness, and I'd like to share a little bit about my story and my holistic, proactive approach to wellness, physically, my body, mentally as well as financially. My husband and I actually had our own fair share of health challenges, niggling here and there, nothing major or causing disability in the severe sense, but they were always there because we both led very stressful, busy lives in the past before the pandemic. And for me, particularly, I did have financial stressful situation growing up in a family when my dad lost his business and we didn't have financial literacy and no information or internet access like we have today. So we struggled for a long time in my growing up phase in Malaysia, where I was born, and then even finishing my education initially as a dental surgeon. I did study, I go to university and I did study to budgets, finance, economics, accounting as subjects in my health administration postgraduate studies. And that enabled me to manage big organizations and make them very successful. But did I know very much about managing my personal, individual finances? No. Actually, you find a lot of CEOs don't actually have very good personal financial management as well. You cannot equate one with the other. Managing big organization, reading annual reports is different. And also one tends to be so engrossed in work. And I love my job so much that I actually neglected my own personal well-being. And it was also the stress of dealing with mortgage, private school fees, and also helping family members who are in financial strife that all caused to I believe my gut health issue problem. So there is a link between financial stress and health. So let me share with you what dramatically changed for me and my husband Andrew. So in 2023, my husband and I joined a company called Three International, introduced by a friend, close friend, and very successful entrepreneur in the US. And because we already knew the scientists and the CEO and the founders and a lot of the leaders who all jumped in and left their multi-million dollar business on a different platform, I decided to join them. I was drawn in mostly initially by the products because both my husband and I, as I said earlier, have health challenges, and we decided after the pandemic that we would make health and wellness our number one priority. We spend money and spend time on health and wellness first, and everything else comes later. And I found that I actually have a gift in my hand when I joined this company that actually embraces loving yourself, loving your family, and loving your community. I'm in my 60s, both my husband and I in my 60s. And I kid you not, it was only when I turned 60 that I became more proactive about my finances. And I haven't done too badly, but it's because it was never, as I say to you, it's never too late. Whatever age you are, you got to start learning and improving your financial literacy. So I hope tonight, having heard from Kelly, who's enlightened me with so many insights, and I definitely will be sharing her insights with the younger ones who are going to the first home ownership phase, and even the older ones who are struggling to retire to gain some financial literacy. So with this company, our approach to wellness, this is the company's approach to wellness, which is my approach to wellness all this time. When I look back at my clinical years, I've always practiced preventative dentistry. I was a dental surgeon. As I said earlier, I practiced for 15 years. The old paradigm is all about reactive wellness. And I'm sure many of you who are watching this or listening to a recording would understand that. You wait till you fall sick, then you go to the doctor or you go to a specialist and you get treated. And there's a belief that you're what you eat. And there's also a belief that your DNA is your blueprint. But no, 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 no. That is the old paradigm. The new paradigm, we can't change the old paradigm. Some doctors who have joined our movement say, why don't we just change everything, change the mindset of what the healthcare system, change the broken system. And change and re-educate all the medical professionals. It is too hard. We need to start this new movement, which is focused on a new paradigm, which is what I'm part of, and I'm so passionate about it in my 60s. And my husband and I intend to live past 100 years as healthy human beings. So the new paradigm is all about proactive wellness, meaning that you don't wait till something happens before you start looking after yourself, or you don't wait to have a diagnosis before you stop smoking or stop doing something when your doctor says, oh, you're going to die if you keep doing that. You don't wait for that to happen. You proactively take steps to stay healthy for as long as possible, no matter what stage in life you're at. So you are not what you eat, but what you absorb, because you can have the best ingredient or best food source in your hand from the most purest mountains, or the best soil, or the best product, or best fertilized a plant. If your body cannot absorb it, it's useless. Most of it will end out as your waste. So the new paradigm is being proactive about your wellness. You are what you absorb. It's all focused also on the curation of phytonutrients from whole food and plants. So phytonutrients from whole food, I mean, we were exposed to so much processed food. And I know that when I look back, and I'm ashamed to share with you that during my years when I was having gut health issue, I didn't know what I didn't know. I have been working in the healthcare industry for 40 years. I'm supposed to know more than the average consumer, but I didn't have time. I was spending too much time working up to 100 hours per week some days, being a CEO. I was surviving on like 4 hours sleep. So over time, all the symptoms were coming out, and I did seek care and help. But the whole profession that looked after me was more focused on the reactive wellness bit, and I didn't really get well immediately. And if I did, it stayed only for a short time, and I would feel worse again. So now I spend more time focusing on being proactive, and it was thanks to the pandemic that forced me to look at it more seriously. And over the last few years, I have become more knowledgeable, and I'm able to share. And I said that I have this gift in my hand. I know so much now about what people can do to change the epigenetics in your body. So the future of proactive wellness is epigenetics. So it focuses on phytonutrients, absorption. So it's not what you eat. If your food does not absorb and your body cannot absorb, you're wasting it and you're not getting your nutrients. Your lifestyle is important. So my lifestyle has changed. Moving to Port Macquarie is the best decision I've made, because this place allows me to go for walks, go and embark on in wellness walks and forest bathing. I can go to the gym. I can do dancing. I have a community for social connections. I get involved, and the environment is much cleaner than in the city. I lived in Sydney for 30 years. There is pollution there's noise, it's just crowded, there's a lot of stress. It often takes me 2 to 3 hours to and fro to get to work and back. And that's how much time I have gone, wasted in my life. If out of 30 years you spend 1/3 of your time commuting, and you actually wasted 10 years of your life just trying to get on top of things. So all those things, the future of proactive wellness is epigenetics. And if you don't know the word epigenetics, it's been around for a long, long time, but it's only now becoming a trending topic of discussion. So I'm very proud that the proactive wellness is also supported by our scientific advisory board. It's not very common that any nutraceutical company or any service has a scientific advisory board that is independent, or all these people are not paid. Usually somebody comes on a board, like when I went on a board, I'm paid as a board member. These people are not paid. They come from places like the Mayo Clinic, the John Hopkins, and Dr. Dan Gubler, our chief scientific officer, is Caltech trained at a university that's very hard to get into, and also where many Nobel Prize winners come from. And he's a genius. He comes from an elite scientist family. His grandfather discovered vitamin B1. He grew up, with a science science interest. And he's not an amateur too. He's formulated many supplements in the past with pharmaceutical companies as well. And he now just focus on plant and whole food, non-synthetic supplements which provide nutrients for our body. And all these doctors have personally used them, and they come from all disciplines. They have used them and they endorse them, and they're happy to put their name behind the products. And they also integrate, that's the new thing, they integrate into their own care regime for their patients. So they all come from different backgrounds: heart specialists, pain management, food doctor, all kinds of people, all are interested in this proactive wellness new paradigm. So we are very proud of our science and technology, which sets us apart from everything else. So we have 3 pillars of research and development: exploration, meaning that all the ingredients that they are personally sourced by Dr. Dan Gubler, our Chief Scientific Officer. So our products are not white label. Nowadays, you go to a supermarket or a pharmacy or chemist store, you find a lot of brands, and some of them are just white label. They didn't invent or explore that. And then number 2, the ingredients are specially selected so that they work synergistically with each other, which means 1 + 1 gives you maybe 500, give you a positive synergy, not a negative synergy. What I did wrong, knowing what I know now, when I had my severe gut health issue, was that, oh, I think I haven't been eating a lot of fruits and vegetables lately, so I'll get more vitamin C. Oh, I think I need, I'm very stressed. I'm a CEO. I need executive stress. Oh, I feel very anxious. I need more calm. Oh, I'm not digesting my food very well, so I need more probiotics, prebiotics. I'll buy everything. And in a way, I have no idea whether I was just putting more stuff. So more is not necessarily better. So I actually got worse. So here, the ingredients are specially curated so that they work synergistically, positively with each other to give you the optimal effect. But the key difference too is the cellular absorption. We have 12 cellular absorption technologies in our products, and that's quite expensive and difficult to do, and not all companies are able to come up with that, which sets us apart from everything else. So as a result, before even all these products have been launched, when I was introduced to the company and I decided I'll go for the products, I already been given a presentation about the efficacy of the products. They've been tested and what they can do, but I didn't even know the name of the company or the name of the products. It was until the day it opened its door, it went through an e-commerce platform straight to 14 countries. And I was so lucky in Australia that we are one of the chosen countries where I could get all the products which tick all my criteria for what I want to put into my body: clean, non-synthetic, no GMO, gluten-free, third-party tested, and beneficial for human health. So as a result, all our products are listed on the PDR.net, which is the prescriber's digital reference, used to be called physician desk reference. In Australia, we have equivalent. When I was a clinician, it's called MIMS. In the US, that's the reference guide, and that's where now they make it available, even a consumer. So you just type in the name of your medication or your vitamin or your nutraceutical you're taking and see whether it's listed there. If it's listed there, that means it has passed all the rigorous testing and is trusted by the medical professionals for recommendation to their clients or patients. Yeah, and not many companies actually do third-party clinical studies. So how we stand out, and I'm so confident, and I'm still registered as with the regulatory body in Australia, and I am professional, and I have to be careful of what I say to people. We don't make claims to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent, but all these studies have proven through our cellular absorption study that our products, compared to the purest molecule control, is 3 to 9.5 times higher absorption than the purest molecule control. So you can have the best product in your hand. At best, usually you get 1 to 2% absorption. At best, you get 10%. Ours is 3 to 9.5 times higher. So that's on the left side of that study. The second one is epigenetic study. That is the game changer. When doctors saw this themselves, they all want these products because this study showed that 4 out of 6 nutrition supplements can actually upregulate your good genes and downregulate your bad genes so that your DNA is no longer your destiny. It relates to many of the genetic markers that were studied, and I can send you a copy of the results for those people who are interested. And also we have a superoxide study, which shows that one of our products can reduce the superoxide in liver, which is actually the cause of inflammation. And inflammation, there's thousands of studies about how bad it is to have inflammation in your body. Even people don't know that they have inflammation in the body, in the heart, in your brain, in your skin, and it just manifests itself in chronic illnesses. So it is very important throughout your life to have a balanced chronic inflammatory status, and that's what our products do. So, so very simply, this beautiful picture, from left to right, they are just the 6 products that I take. So that's what's changed for me and Andrew, my husband, and that's what we've been using for since last year. So for over 18 months, we've been using all these 6 products every day of our life since we came across this every day. And it has transformed our well-being physically, mentally, emotionally. Our relationships has been already been good, but it's got to another level. We are just happier, and everything just flows and everything just happens so seamlessly and easily. Life just becomes easier and happier, because if you are healthy, everything else just becomes easier. So the first product is the Vitality, which is the nourisher or the multivitamins. As I say, I can send you a booklet actually of all the ingredients and what this does, but in a nutshell, it provides as your foundational health. So if anything else, start with that. It gives you all the nutrients, all the minerals, all the nutrients that is essential for the proper functioning of your body. So it also supports your heart health, your brain health, your eye health, and also your gut microbiome. It's very important. A lot of illnesses and symptoms start from an unhealthy gut. So gut microbiome is very important. It also gives you cellular energy, a form of calm energy. You think there's caffeine. People ask, do you have caffeine in your products? No, we don't. This is calm energy. So it is something that everyone should be experiencing. The next product, which is the orange panel, is the Revive. Revive is also known as the Restorer. And I talked about inflammation just now, and this is the product. This is so good and so effective that people nickname it the miracle gel or miracle bean. There's a number of ingredients in it, and I can send you the information in the e-booklet. But most important ingredient here is the curcumin. And it's an ingredient that has been studied for thousands of years. You have turmeric being sold in powder or gel or whatever. But the thing is, the curcumin molecule is very, very large. So unless it's absorbed, you're not getting a lot of benefits. So, and you therefore, even if it's not very costly for you, you are wasting a lot of money. So the Revive as a product, a supplement itself, supports healthy joints, muscle stiffness. It helps to maintain a healthy inflammatory status. So we're not talking about anti-inflammatory, because you do need a little bit of inflammation when you're healing, but it gives your body a status of balance, homeostasis, and that's what your body needs. And that's throughout your body, including your brain. So if your brain is chattering at night, it's because there's a slight increase and elevation in inflammation in your brain, and this does help calm it down. It promotes exercise recovery, and it counteracts the effects of all free radicals. Free radicals means you get sick, so it helps to protect you as well. The next product is Immune. or immune. It's a protector. It's something that everyone should be having every single day. This is our IP, our intellectual property. No other company in the world has this product. That's why it works so quickly. This is one of our most popular product and most effective. All the products are effective, but this is the one that I find I carry an extra bottle with me every time I travel. I always end up giving a bottle or sharing a bottle away to someone who's fallen sick or ill on the ship or on the plane or on the island. And to the point where when they go back home, they immediately ask me for how do I get some more. So this has special ingredients that during the pandemic, the doctor would be telling you go home and get some zinc, elderberry, vitamin C, nanosilver, quercetin, all those things. This one person actually has looked at this in detail, and she told me that it replaced 15 bottles of what she was using just in this one bottle. So this is very good for moms who sending kids to school. You are in a university environment, you're working in a bank, seeing customers, or in a retail shop, or in a hospital, and or in an airport. It promotes the health of your immune system, your adaptive immunity, your immune response, your innate immunity, and it also has a very special immunity blend called quorum sensing. Nobody has that. Our scientists come up with that quorum sensing, and that really attracted a lot of interest from medical professionals when they heard that, because the quorum sensing blend is what happens is when you have that in the product, and when you take it, the quorum sensing blend actually stops the bad bacteria from talking to each other, and therefore your good bacteria thrive. You know what happens when you take antibiotics? It kills your good bacteria and kills your bad bacteria. So, you're going backwards, even though you're getting better in some aspects, but you're getting backwards in other aspects. This product has helped a lot of people with staying healthy in all sorts of situations. So it's a game changer for me. The Purify is a detoxifying supplement. So it detoxifies your liver, your kidney, your lungs, your colon, and also your gallbladder. It supports your body's elimination organs, because we all have elimination organs, and it's a lot of burden on your elimination organs to try and get rid of the toxins and pollutants. So this helps you also with maintaining a healthy body weight, and also eliminates heavy metal toxins. And then we have the Eternal, which is my fountain of youth, I call it, and it's got resveratrol and glutathione. And this is truly the anti-aging. I'm in my 60s, so this is of great interest to me. So this is anti-aging, and it actually helps to stop or delay the premature aging of your cells from damage and from premature aging, so that it actually continue to function like a healthy, youthful cell. And that's what keeps you young. It helps to also neutralize all the free radicals. Free radicals are bad for your body, so it helps to neutralize that to keep you healthy. And also in a country like ours, in Australia, where there's a high incidence of UV damage, this is the one that works in your body from inside out to protect your body from UV damage. The collagen is the only collagen containing product that is listed on the PDR. So that speaks volumes. Why? Because collagen actually is a very large molecule, and it's not easily absorbed. And this is hydrolyzed, micronized, so that when you take it, it's absorbed. And it's also formulated in such a way you have 5 grams of bioavailable collagen in this product that goes to your body. You take it 1 packet a day for 10 days, and then for 20 days you go off. And this cycle actually is also a cycle created by our scientists that helps your body to remember how to make its own collagen, so that when you take it month after month after month, you just get better and better and better in terms of your joint health, and then your skin support, and also your immune system. So this is a really, really good product, and it also has biotin, keratin, hyaluronic acid, all the things that are good for your hair, your nails, your skin, and your overall health. So it gives you a glow as well. So with the Eternal, the purple one, and the collagen, the blue one at the end, these two products are what make not only make you feel good inside, but it makes you look good on the outside as well. So this product is a miracle. It's the first, and I'm very proud that our company came up with a product that actually works not only on the face and the skin, which is our biggest organ, but actually 5 years ago, scientists already discovered there is a pathway that connects communication between your skin and your brain, but many people are trying to activate that pathway so that we can send messages to the brain to give you that positive feeling. So our company has come up with newly discovered molecules. So this is not only a new product, it has newly discovered molecules. No other company has had it before. And it's the world's first neurocosmetic and the world's only neurocosmetic. And if you Google neurocosmetic, anybody else tell you that theirs is a neurocosmetic, you got to ask a lot of questions, and I can send you information on why this is truly the world's first neurocosmetic. So it's designed in such a way that it's a super serum that you put on your skin. You can use it on its own or in combination with whatever skincare regime you have, but it sends signals to your brain so you feel positive. It's got the dopamine, serotonin, and the DHEA. I've only started using this for more than a week, and every day I'm happy. And everything is like simple. Life is easy, and nothing seem to upset me. I feel more productive. I sleep well. I just feel happy overall. So this is a very good product for I believe, the world is there's a lot of mental health issues. So this is like a mental health and a skincare product as well. It's miraculous, and it works very quickly. Um, so as I said earlier, these 6 supplements and then the Visage are inserted in. That's a newly released product. All 7 products are now listed on the PDR. And I have been given this gift of proactive wellness to improve my health and my husband's health. But on top of that, I learned that there is also a turnkey business system that comes with it, which ties in with finances and financial wellness that Kelly talked about. So as Kelly said, there are many ways to create wealth, and property is one way. And I have invested in property, and that has helped me. At my stage in life, I'm semi-retired. I want something that's portable and e-commerce. So this given me a e-commerce ready turnkey business. It's given me a replicated website. I'll show you later on, and everybody will get their own website ready-made. You have a back office that manages and tracks your business. So it's like having all your team of assistants already working for you. And then you have also marketing and media tools that you can use at your leisure as you wish to promote your business. It's got weekly training systems supporting global communities, a supportive global community of leaders who will just empower, elevate us, and also collaborate with us so that everyone wins together as a team to help spread the message of proactive wellness to create a healthier and happier and wealthier world. So how does this all fit into this topic that we are discussing today about health and finance, proactive wellness for health and finance? Kelly has shown us valuable insights, and through the Q&A, I myself have learned a few things. I definitely will share her insights to many people. um, how this business has helped me, how getting involved in proactive wellness, first of all, to gain access to all these products, has given me also another opportunity, a turnkey business where I have multiple ways of generating income. People can choose to become a retail customer and still be able to earn additional incentives or reward points, like a loyalty point, and then you can therefore get free products. Or you can become a business builder if you wanted to add it as a part-time to your existing portfolio. So we have people who run medical practices, people who do operations, a pain physician specialist, my friend. We have people, foot doctors, we have eye doctors, we have lawyers, we have accountants, we have mortgage brokers, we have real estate agents, all kinds of people adding this platform to their existing portfolio for better health and also the opportunity for financial increase, and some of them choose this as their retirement project to replace their existing income or their existing job, and also to create passive income. No different from what Kelly's spoken about with gaining financial wealth by starting with home ownership. And that's how I started. But now I found this platform, so I believe in both. And I think we need multiple ways of earning an income. I believe, and I learned quite late in my life, that you need at least 7 ways of sources of income. This platform alone gives you multiple ways, but sources of income can be from real estate, can be from investments, can be from a platform like this, or many other opportunities. So that's what people are looking for during the pandemic. The 2 most search words: how do I earn extra income, make additional income, and how do I get better health through natural means. So this, I believe I have a gift in my hand that I want to share with the world. So I can tell you everything, but I also have a wonderful person here, Wendy Haynes, who was supposed to share her testimonial, but she couldn't join us tonight because of clash with another event. She's a weight loss consultant, and basically what she said is that she went through her own weight loss journey herself after years of struggle and failure, and she finally discovered that true health with food and movement and supplements are truly the medicine for her to get better. So she has introduced Vitality, the multivitamin, the Immune, which is also, I forgot to say, that it is also a very good product for your gut health, because 80% of your immunity cells actually lives in your gut. Your gut's connected to the brain. If you've got unhealthy gut, you'll be more prone to stress, anxiety, depression. She also introduces Purify, which is a detoxifier, as a baseline to help her clients with their current status, to just get that baseline, getting a kickstart program into getting better health. So you might be having many other different modalities or strategies at the moment for your own health, looking after your own health. You might believe that you are being proactive, you're already exercising, you're eating a good diet, and you are knowledgeable, and you sleep well, you have good relationships, you have good connections, you care about your environment. But our body is not perfect, and the environment is not perfect, the food we eat is not perfect. So the new proactive wellness approach, the new paradigm, and epigenetic studies have shown that we can delay decline in our health as you advance in age. You can delay cognitive decline. You can delay skin decline. You see people with dry skin, aging skin. I'm not worried too much about the looks. I'm more worried about their inability to even walk properly or be supported by the muscles or the tissues in their body. They are alive, but they're not thriving. They're alive and existing. So I don't want that in my life. Andrew and I got married so late in life and only been married 4 years. I envy and admire, I shouldn't say envy, I admire couples who tell me, and there are many I've met, they've been married for 40 years, 50 years, or 30 years. I want to stay married to Andrew for as long as possible, to pass 100 years. And to do that, both of us have made a commitment to take care of ourselves, love our family, love our community, and be proactive so that we can be present for each other and for our friends, our loved ones, and our people in our community like Kelly. So that's a QR code of how you can find me, and that will give you that replicated website that I talked about. And you can see carolineandrew.treeinternational.com. If anyone joins and wants to be a customer or be a business builder, you will have your own website too, like kellycarter.treeinternational.com, and that will be your account to buy your products, etc. And we now also have a QR code for Kelly Carter. So I hope that you take a screenshot of this, and that will also connect you to all the things, wonderful things that she does. She's amazing. When I was her age, I couldn't, I don't know as much as she does. And yeah, there's so much information out there, and I feel so privileged that I have a chance um, to be presenting with an amazing woman like Kelly today.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you
too.
so much for your insights. I really enjoyed doing the conversation with you. And this whole thing will be recorded. What I've shared is just a brief summary. Usually it's a longer presentation. We do, as a company and with the global community, have a weekly Wellness Wednesday, which is our Thursday, because Wellness Wednesday is the US, the headquarters is in US, so they call it Wellness Wednesday. It's a Thursday. I get invited to speak. I'm the only one from Australia at the moment invited to speak on that platform from time to time. There's more than 2,000 health professionals who put their hand up and are in that team of people who get to speak. But there's hundreds of thousands of people who have already joined the movement. So if you like what you are hearing and learning from us about getting started on first home ownership, about finances and mortgage, and any questions, remember the conversation is free with Kelly Carter. So reach out to her, ask questions. She has a way where you can book an appointment with her through her Linktree. Yeah. And I give free consultations to, in an informal sense. It's not to replace the care of your treating physician. It's important that if you have a medical condition that you go back to your doctor and also show them what we are using. In fact, those questions are commonly asked of me and of my husband when when we talk to medical professionals. And they say, please show me what you're doing, because your heart health, your heart score, calcium score is 0. It's perfect. How did you do that? Or your eyesight is 6.6. How did you do that? So in a way, I can't make scientific claims, but we experiencing reverse aging. So I hope that whatever age you are in, you can slow down the aging process and stay healthy and live a productive, useful life for the rest of your time. So Kelly, over to you. Any last message?
No, but thank
Comment?
you,
Yeah.
Dr. Carolyn, for inviting me and having a question and answer session. It's been great to be able to share my experiences and my knowledge, because if we can get that message out to have conversations to improve our financial literacy, then we're going to make smarter communities and be able to improve our wealth, which then we can extend into our health as well, because when we are, like you said, financially stressed, it affects all other areas of our wellness. And if we don't have our finances in order, our health is what suffers. We don't eat right, we don't exercise right, we don't take the right supplements. So thank you for letting me share my journey.
Thank you, Kelly. So on that note, I thank everyone for joining us, and reach out to us if you have any questions. So thank you, Kelly.